I don't know if you remember, but way back at the very beginning of school when it started, we made a list together. What do you like when you're with other people in a classroom? And these are the things you said. You said, we like to make friends. In preparing for this class meeting, I did a lot of thinking about what's going on in the classroom now, both positive and negative, and the things that I felt would be appropriate for the children to talk about and be able to work on so that we could deal with some specific behaviors, because until we can stop actually hurting each other, then we can't get to the more sophisticated goals. And then I just kind of sat with it for a while, because so often in kindergarten they will have a direction and you have to be able to go with that. I've seen some things in about the last week that have made me feel really good about our class. Now I want you to think really carefully, because I'd like to hear something from you about anything in this class that's happened for you or that you have seen that makes you feel good about our kindergarten. Chrissy.
The things that people do, and they do nice things.
And they do nice things. Is there some special nice thing that you particularly like? What do you like?
Having friends.
Having friends. Okay. Having friends is a good thing that's going on in our classroom. Natalie, how about you?
Having new friends. Not hitting. New friends.
Okay, Natalie says that not hitting is really important, and I agree with that. Vidya, what do you think?
Being good friends.
Okay, so I hear a lot of people who want to have friends and being nice. What if we're trying to be good friends and somebody does something that makes us angry? Maybe they even hit us. How do we take care of that without making the problem worse? This is something that I think it's good to think about, because it's really hard. Chrissy.
Say, please don't hurt me.
Okay, so you're talking about words, is that right? That we use words when we're upset? We need to tell people what it is they're doing that upsets us. Is that right? Okay. And then what?
You say, don't hurt me because I don't like it.
Okay, so to give a reason, don't hurt me because I don't like it. All right, let me give you an example. Sometimes people go to a lot of work to make beautiful structures with blocks, and then are very sad because someone else comes and takes their structure apart somehow. Chelsea, was it blocks yesterday that were a problem for you? Because I heard you give a really good straight message to one of the children in our class. You said, I didn't like that you did that. It made me very sad. And he listened. Because she was so honest and because she told him exactly what the problem was, he listened. How did you feel after you did that, Chelsea? Did you still feel as angry? So it helped you to talk that way?
Did you feel better?
Good question.
I did feel better.
You did feel better.
But not really a lot. Well, I did feel a lot better after. You told him that? No. It was lunchtime then.
Okay, so what we're finding out is that using words can help the person who uses them to feel better. Now, what would be the next step? Let's just pretend that I have made a beautiful block structure and somebody in our class comes over and goes whoosh and knocks them all over. But suppose I go up to that person and I say, I really liked my block structure and it made me very sad that you knocked it over. Is there something more that could happen that would help even more than that?
You can make friends.
You could make friends. How about the person who knocked over the blocks? Does that person...
Sorry.
Okay, sorry helps. That's step one.
If you say sorry, then you can become friends.
Which would be good. Is there something more you could actually do? Did you?
You can say, I didn't see I did that.
Okay, sometimes it's an accident, and it's important to explain that. Chelsea.
Is this like on George and Martha's book?
Mm-hmm.
When they became friends, and she always wanted, and Martha always was tempted to say something, and then she said, nah, I better not do it. We're not friends anymore.
Exactly, exactly.
And that's what happens to me and my friend.
That happens sometimes. Things don't always go smoothly for friends.
Yeah.
Right. What about if I were the person who did that thing and knocked over the blocks and I said, okay, I'm sorry? What about...
Would help.
It would help. But what about if I offered to help put the block structure back together?
That would feel make the person feel much happier.
Is that a way to repair the damage?
No. Yeah.
And how do you think I would feel about myself if I did that?
Good.
I think I would.
Even great.
Even great. I think it's hard to come up with vocabulary that works for kindergartners. We've all been taught to say I'm sorry, and it's an automatic response a lot of the time, and often I think it's given very unwillingly. Children often don't realize that it feels good to make amends. It feels good to reach out to someone and be sorry for what's happened and try to make it better. My sense is that we'll talk about this more, but I think that is partly going to come from them, and I'll feel them out as we go. I was wondering if there's anything you've noticed or anything that's happened to you in school here that makes you feel like we're doing a pretty good job of taking care of each other. Susanna.
When Keith had no meal, I put something in his mailbox.
Okay, so there's a lot of that looking out to see who has enough mail, and you've been doing it and you've noticed others doing it. Georgina.
Once I drawn a necklace for Susanna, and then I put it in the mailbox, and then somebody scribbled all over her name.
Oh, somebody scribbled all over her name.
On the bottom.
Should we make a list maybe of, let's put down some of the good things that are happening for us, and let's write down on a piece of paper some of the things that we're worried about. We've said that we watch to see that everyone gets mail. And Georgina, you were worried about someone else scribbling on your work? Okay. Chelsea.
Sometimes on the playground I see kicking.
Sometimes you still see kicking.
Maybe there might be still some kicking, because normally in lunch, like sometimes for me and Caitlin, they come for us for help.
Okay, so you have children who need to come and get help from you because they're having problems. So
yeah.
There is still some kicking on the playground.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. And Alice?
Is someone said better to someone?
Are you hearing bad words being said?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Feel bad to me.
Okay, so hearing bad words feels bad to Alice. Andrew?
I saw people apologizing to people that got hurt.
Okay, so you've heard some people apologizing, and that helps sometimes.
Mostly when I say sorry, most people say sorry's not enough.
Oh, they say that?
Mostly.
Okay. Georgina, you commented that someone had scribbled on some mail that you had made. If I were that person who had scribbled on that mail, what would really help for me to do to make it better?
Make a new one.
Make a new one? Make a new one? Okay, so sometimes if we've done something to hurt someone else, maybe there are things we can do to help make it better. One of the things I've thought about in conducting class meetings and not wanting to give them the impression that they're purely for the use of the teacher to convey her needs and her demands is that I need to give them time to just say how they feel. And I am learning, once we've discussed an issue, to say, what do you think about that? Or how do you feel about that? Or do you think that's going to work for you? More and more I've learned to go back to them and say, even after the meeting has happened, well, what did you think about that? Do you think it's going to help us or not? And I think that the idea of helping us is a theme that I will probably work even more with in the future, to try to be sure that they see that their individual behavior is going to have an effect on what kind of class it is.